Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighters Anthology as we continue with the reference materials. We're getting close to the end of the ship section, I think. Yep, only a handful more to go. So today, let's start out with Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga, titled Ticonderoga Class Guided Missile Cruisers, CG Aegis. Active 27, displacement, tons, 7,015 light, 9,590 for CG 47 and 48, 9,407 for CG 49 through 51, 9,466 for the remainder for full load tonnage. Dimensions 567 feet by 55 feet by 31 feet, including the sonar, or 172.8 meters by 16.8 meters by 9.5 meters. Main machinery 4 GE LM 2500 gas turbines, rated for 86,000 horsepower, 64.16 megawatts sustained. 2 shafts, CP props. Speed 30 plus knots. Range 6,000 nautical miles at 20 knots. Complement 358, of which 24 are officers. Accommodation for 405 total. Missiles SLCM SSM GDC Tomahawk on CG-52 onwards. Combination of land attack, Terracom aided navigation system or TANES to 2,500 kilometers or 1,400 nautical miles at 0.7 Mach. Altitude 15 to 100 meters or 49.2 to 328.1 feet. Warhead nuclear 200 kilotons or TLAM-N. Circular error probability 80 meters. Warhead 454 kilogram or 317 kilogram per Block 2 TLAM-C. Or submunitions for TLAM-D. Range 1,300 kilometers or 700 nautical miles with a circular error of probability of 10 meters. Nuclear warheads are not normally carried. Range increased by 30% in TLAM-C Block 3, which started production in 1992 and is GPS fitted. B. Anti-ship Tomahawk anti-ship missile. Inertial guidance, active radar, and anti-radiation homing to 460 kilometers or 250 nautical miles at 0.7 Mach. Warhead 454 kilograms, 8 McDonnell Douglas Harpoon and 2 quad launchers. Active radar homing to 130 kilometers or 70 nautical miles at 0.9 Mach. Warhead 227 kilograms. Extended range SLAM can be fired from modified harpoon canisters. SAM 68 in CG 47 through 51 or 122 from CG 52 onwards. GDC standard SM2MR. Command inertial guidance, semi-active radar homing to 73 kilometers or 40 nautical miles at Mach 2. What is this? Anti-submarine 20 Honeywell ASRock, inertial guidance to 1.6 to 10 kilometers or 1 to 5.4 nautical miles. Payload Mark 46 Mod 5 near tip or Mark 50 torpedo. SAM and AS missiles are fired from 2 twin Mark 26 Mod 5 launchers on CG 47 through 51 and 2 Mark 41 Mod 0 vertical launchers with 61 missiles per launcher in CG 52 onwards. Tomahawk is carried in CG-52 onwards with 8 missiles in each VLS launcher and 12 in the magazines. Vertical launch ASRock to be backfitted when available, increasing the range to 16.6 kilometers or 9 nautical miles. Guns, 2 FMC 5-inch or 127mm 54 caliber Mark 45 Mod 0 on CG-47 through 50, Mod 1 CG-51 onwards. 65 degrees elevation, 20 rounds per minute to 23 kilometers or 12.6 nautical miles. Anti-surface weight of shell, 32 kilograms. 2 General Electric, General Dynamics 20mm 76 caliber Vulcan Phalanx 6-barreled Mark 15, 3,000 rounds per minute or 4,500 in Block 1. Combined to 1.5 kilometers for 12.7mm machine guns. Torpedoes, 6 324mm Mark 32 tubes and 2 triple mounts fitted in the ship's side aft. 36 Honeywell Mark 46 Mod 5 anti-submarine active passive homing to 11 kilometers or 5.9 nautical miles at 40 knots. Warhead 44 kilograms, being replaced by Mark 50 from 1994. And both of those are being superseded by the Mark 54, which, if I remember correctly, basically does some sensor upgrades and takes the propulsion unit of the Mark 46 and combines that with the sensor from the Mark 50 to make a more accurate torpedo that's also cheaper to produce, although unfortunately it doesn't have the high performance characteristics of the Mark 50, which is also pretty expensive from my understanding. Helicopters, 2 SH-60B Seahawk Lamps 3, 2 SH-2F Lamps 1 in CG 47 and 48. program. Last 5 approved in the fiscal year 1988 ship construction budget. That decision stemmed from the delays being encountered in the construction of the Arleigh Burke and the realization that the Navy was in no position at that time to award further contracts for construction of more DDG-51s. Length 567 feet, beam 55 feet, draught 31 feet, speed 30 knots, range 6,000 nautical miles. Here we can see the photo. This is the VLS variant. They're actually very easy to tell apart because the VLS variant just has VLS cells, or vertical launch system cells, fore and aft, which we got 3 photos. That might be the strike down crane for the reloading the VLS at sea. And then here we have, this is another VLS variant. Non-VLS variants, which are like the first 2 or 3 or 4 produced, these VLS cells would be replaced with a twin arm launcher, and then they had a magazine inside the ship. And those are more limited. They can only launch, SM, SAM missiles, ASROC missiles. Theoretically, they could launch harpoons because I believe the Perry's was capable of that, but I don't think they'd be generally fitted since they have the box launchers, which I'm actually not seeing on this one. It should be somewhere in the F band tail, I think, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm blind, maybe the resolution's low, but by the way, these radars here, there's 3 dishes. Those are used for the, there they are, 1, 2, 3. Those are the engagement radars for the SM-2 missiles. And then these flat panels are obviously the Aegis radars. And in-game we can see, not sure if VLS variant or not. Here we can clearly see the Harpoon box launcher on the aft of the ship. I want to say these are probably representative because they have this little thing fore and aft. And I'm thinking that might be, yeah, it's angled up. So I'm thinking that's supposed to represent twin arm launcher. So I would presume these are the twin arm variants, but it's a little hard to know since we don't really get to see the Ticonderoga in action much. In fact, I'm not even sure if I had to have fought against them at least once in like some scenario, like cooked up for, showing off a Russian aircraft or something. But yeah, very formidable opponent, although unfortunately the hull did not leave a lot of room for growth, so that kind of screwed them on their longevity, and that's why they're being retired in favor of more Burks, because that hull at least had a little growth margin, especially with the mods for Flight 3. That gives them a little more room. But the Navy also, I presume, it must have been cost reasons, I can't think of any other reason, but they built, even though the Ticonderoga was going to be a cruiser, they built it on the Spruance hull, which was a destroyer. And that's part of the reason why it didn't have any margin for growth, really, is because they just filled that hull out. So I assume it had to be cost reasons. I can't think of another reason why you would do that, but yeah, she was stalwart flagship of the carrier battle group's anti-aircraft warfare. The Ticonderoga actually had equipment to host the anti-air commander for carrier battle groups, and that's what it's really probably the only reason they've soldiered on as long as they have is because the Flight 1 and 2 Burks didn't have the facilities for that. I'm not clear if the Flight 3 Burks will have that capability, but I assume it's being built into the DDGX program. So that will conclude us for this episode. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.